Habitat for Humanity Portland Metro East would like to present you with information about our homeownership program and the application process. Our selection process is non-discriminatory. Habitat serves all types of households and families. A family can be individuals, singles, couples, partners, families with or without children, multi-generational families, etc. The application selection process is impartial. Familial status, age, race, color, religion, sex, handicap, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origins play no part in the choice. This presentation takes about 35 minutes. It will help you understand more about Habitat in general, how our homeownership program works, what our application guidelines are, and will explain what it means to be a Habitat partner. More specifically, we will be discussing Habitat basics, homeownership program basics, monthly payment and Habitat mortgages, housing design standards, applicant qualifications and requirements, and the application process along with some application tips. Habitat for Humanity Portland Metro East is a not-for-profit organization modeled after Habitat for Humanity International, which has its headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Habitat International works around the world building and selling houses to people with housing needs. It also helps set standards and guidelines for Habitat affiliates working in the United States. Habitat is a faith-based organization. Though its roots are based in Christianity, it is not a proselyting organization and serves people of all faiths and backgrounds and beliefs. Habitat for Humanity Portland Metro East has a solid, reliable program in Portland. This affiliate has successfully helped hundreds of families escape substandard housing situations since it was established in 1981. All Habitat for Humanity affiliates in the U.S. are individual nonprofit organizations. Each operates independently. There are 2 other affiliates in the Portland area. If you want to live in the Beaverton or Hillsborough areas, or in Vancouver, Washington, you should look into the Willamette West or Evergreen Habitat for Humanity affiliates. Because each affiliate is a separate nonprofit organization, each has separate application processes. Applications are not transferable between affiliates, and you cannot be in 2 Habitat programs at the same time. Our affiliate, Habitat for Humanity Portland Metro East, services the areas of Multnomah County and North Clackamas County. During this presentation, we will use the word Habitat to refer to the Habitat for Humanity Portland Metro East affiliate. Habitat's mission statement is, "We seek to put God's love into action. Habitat for Humanity brings people together to build homes, communities, and hope." We strive to build partnerships among volunteers, families, and the community. Our goal is to transform lives and revitalize neighborhoods and enable families in need to build and buy a simple, decent, affordable house. So, how does Habitat's homeownership program work? Habitat is a unique program because we are the builder and the lender. When applying to the homeownership program, an applicant is applying for a 0% interest, 0% APR home loan. Upon being selected into the program, an applicant is pre-approved for the loan. Final loan approval is given directly before the house is purchased. The application process takes up to 3 months. We will be addressing some of the processing later in this presentation. If an applicant is pre-approved and accepted into the program, they are in the program until their house has been built or remodeled. Generally, this takes 12 to 24 months. The time it takes to build or remodel each house will vary. The construction process is complex with many variables depending on funding sources, the construction schedule, and building requirements. This complexity makes it difficult to predict the length of time from pre-approval in the program to purchasing a house. Partnership is a key element of Habitat for Humanity. We build and remodel houses with people, not for people. The homeownership program is a long process, and the relationship that we have with our homeowners lasts throughout the life of the Habitat loan. We seek reliable, hardworking partners who are willing to fulfill Habitat's partnership requirements. When an applicant is pre-approved for the Habitat homeownership program, they become a partner. Within Habitat's homeownership program, we will build or remodel a Habitat-owned house in partnership with a pre-approved partner. We will then sell that house to the partner for a 0% interest, 0% annual percentage rate loan. Home ownership comes with many new responsibilities. Homeowners must protect, maintain, and improve upon their house as an investment. Our program also provides opportunities for partners to learn the skills needed to own and maintain a home. Habitat houses are built and remodeled by Habitat professional staff, subcontractors, volunteers, community members, and the pre-approved partner families. We encourage our partners to bring in friends and family from their own community to participate as well. Our Habitat professional site staff not only work on construction, but teach others the skills they need to participate on construction sites. There is no prior construction experience required for our program. If an individual is physically unable to participate on the construction site, we are happy to provide other volunteer opportunities to fulfill program requirements. Our program requires partners to cover approximately $2,000 of closing costs when they purchase their new or remodeled Habitat house. We do not require a down payment. The closing costs are due at the time of sale. The time of sale will be determined once the house is complete and the program requirements have been met. Habitat encourages people to participate in down payment and closing cost assistance programs, such as individual development accounts, or IDAs. Any additional money paid at the time of sale beyond the closing costs will go towards the principal loan. We expect our homeowner partners to make reliable and on-time monthly housing payments. Homeowners have the opportunity to build equity in their houses immediately due to their 0% interest loan. Let's talk briefly about Habitat's monthly housing payments. No matter what the price of the house, Habitat is committed to keeping monthly housing payments affordable. Habitat partner families' housing payment will be set at no more than 30% of their household gross monthly income at the time of sale. This monthly amount will include the mortgage payment, property taxes, homeowners insurance, and possibly homeowner association dues. Once a partner family purchases their house, Habitat does not continue to check their income. The mortgage portion of the monthly household payment does not change during the life of the loan, but the property taxes, insurance, or association dues will fluctuate over time. Please be aware that if a Habitat homeowner does not make their monthly household payment, Habitat, similar to a traditional lender, does have the right to foreclose on the house. How does a family build equity in their house? Equity is the value of the house that belongs to the partner family beyond what is owed to the lender. When partner families purchase a Habitat house, The Habitat mortgage package that they take out, or the loans owed, will be for almost the entire price of the house. With conventional loans, it takes homeowners several years to begin paying down their principal loan due to interest. The 0% interest loan that Habitat homeowners have allow them to earn equity in their house immediately. Each mortgage payment, starting with the first, goes directly to pay down their principal loan. Habitat homeowners have the potential of earning equity in their homes earlier, and therefore faster, than traditional homeowners with conventional mortgages. Not only is a partner family building equity in their house much faster than with traditional homeownership, they are also saving tens of thousands of dollars during the life of the loan by not paying interest. Habitat sells houses at market value. A professional appraiser from outside the organization determines the value of the house, and Habitat will provide a copy of the house appraisal to the partner family shortly after the appraisal is complete, as is required by state law. The price of the Habitat house, new or remodeled, will not be determined until the house is complete. It is important to remember that the monthly household payment will be set at the time of sale at no more than 30% of the partner's gross monthly income. Often, Habitat has second mortgages, buy-downs, and/or other mortgage assistance as a part of the overall mortgage package. These financing tools that Habitat uses do not affect the total sale price. The second mortgages, buy-downs, or other mortgage assistance will also be interest-free. Often, homeowners do not make payments on them, and partners only pay them back if they decide to sell their Habitat home. Habitat homeowners do have the right to sell their house at any time. However, there are resale restrictions. If a family sells their Habitat house within 20 years of occupancy, Habitat has the first right of refusal, which means we have the right to purchase the house back before it goes on the regular market. We also follow a shared appreciation model during the first 20 years of partner ownership. The longer the partner lives in the Habitat house, the larger the percentage of appreciation the family receives upon resale. After 20 years, the family receives 100% of the appreciation of the house. Habitat for Humanity sells houses for stability and security of our partner families. These restrictions don't allow homeowners to make a quick profit off their Habitat house. The shared appreciation model applies whether Habitat buys back the house or chooses to let it sell on the regular market. The Habitat partner homeowners do still have the opportunity to build equity as an investment in their house with the shared appreciation model. So, with this new information, on the graph you can see that the original purchase price of the house has stayed the same. Any second mortgages or other mortgage assistance will be a part of the house price, not above it. As the partner makes payments on their loan, they build equity. When a family decides to sell their Habitat house, if the value of the house has stayed the same, they will likely collect all the equity that they have earned. If the house has gone down in value or depreciated, the partner homeowner will earn less equity. Deciding when to sell a house is part of the responsibility and risk of homeownership. This reflects an aspect of traditional homeownership. Habitat does not guarantee purchasing the house back despite our right to do so. When we discuss the shared appreciation model, it only applies if the value of the house has increased. If the house has appreciated, the homeowner will potentially be able to collect their equity and possibly a portion of the appreciation depending on when they sell their house and how long they have owned it. Habitat for Humanity Portland Metro East follows basic design standards. Partners do not choose the type of house they will purchase if pre-approved for the homeownership program. Often, Habitat builds and remodels houses that are attached and share walls. Habitat houses can be condominiums, townhouses, duplexes, multiplexes, or single-dwelling homes. Habitat builds 1 to 5 bedroom wood frame houses of approximately 900 to 1,300 square feet. Remodel house square footage and amenities vary. Partners do not choose the size of their future Habitat house. Habitat will choose the size of the house based on the household size and makeup at the time of pre-approval. We expect 2 children of the same gender to share a bedroom. Generally, partners will not be able to add on to a Habitat house due to property lines, easements, and city rules. Habitat builds and remodels simple, decent, and affordable houses. They have very few extras and small bedrooms, which helps us keep costs down in order to serve more people. A stove, refrigerator, washer, dryer, and dishwasher are provided with most houses. 1.5 bathrooms is standard. Houses built by Habitat, new or remodeled, do not have garages, carports, basements, or usable attics. The location of the house is dependent upon where Habitat is building or remodeling houses. Habitat acquires property in advance of application rounds, and each application round pre-approves applicants for specific properties depending upon our construction schedule. The location available will usually be discussed during the application process. It is important to remember that Habitat does not build custom houses. Now that you know a little more about the program and Habitat houses, we will review the application qualifications and requirements. We encourage everyone to apply to the homeownership program. However, it is not a perfect fit for everyone. When we process applications, we follow certain guidelines when pre-approving applicants for the program. The main criteria of the Habitat for Humanity Portland Metro East homeownership program are: applicants must be first-time home buyers. They must have residency in the USA. There must be a need for decent housing. They must have an ability to pay back a Habitat mortgage. And applicants have to be willing to partner with Habitat. A first-time home buyer is someone who hasn't owned a house in the past 3 years. Applicants who own mobile homes are still considered first-time home buyers. The residency requirements mean that the applicant and co-applicant must be United States citizens or have permanent residency in the USA. We will go over the need, ability to pay, and willingness to partner criteria separately. In order to qualify for the homeownership program, applicants must have a need for decent housing. The need criteria that we use includes housing where the shelter is inadequate, the rent is unaffordable, or the home is subsidized. An inadequate shelter means a structure has defects, there are maintenance problems, no heat or overcrowding, which includes shared housing situations. If the applicant is paying more than 50% of their income towards rent, we consider that a need. And if an applicant is living in subsidized housing, we consider that a need for permanent homeownership. We attempt to look at each applicant objectively, and we consider many factors when determining an applicant's need for housing. During the application process, we will visit the homes of applicants who are financially qualified. We also look at the overall household income to determine the need for a Habitat house. Our income guidelines are dependent upon the Portland area median income. Applicants must fall within Habitat's income guidelines to qualify, which are 35% to 60% of the area median income, or AMI. We look at the applicant's household size to determine whether they fall within the minimum and maximum monthly income. Don't forget that we look at gross income, which means income before taxes and deductions are taken out. When calculating an applicant's household income, we count all income from all adults in the household. We only use a portion of the income earned by adults who are not the applicants and are full-time students. If income is seasonal, we annualize it. The ability to pay criteria helps Habitat determine if an applicant will be able to pay back their Habitat mortgage. We have to make sure that applicants can dedicate 30% of their gross monthly income to housing. Applicants may not be paying 30% of their gross income towards rent when they apply, which means that their house payment will likely go up when purchasing a Habitat house. Usually applicants coming from subsidized housing situations experience an increase in their housing expenses with Habitat. Applicants need to be able to pay approximately $2,000 to cover basic closing costs at the time of sale. The applicant and co-applicant are the individuals who, if approved, will be responsible for the Habitat mortgage. They need to be the main income earners in the household and must meet the minimum income standards without other household income to qualify. And applicants must have a satisfactory credit history. Habitat does not look at credit report scores. We consider payment histories, debt, collections, and judgments on their credit report. We are looking for steady and reliable income. We require applicants to provide at least 2 years of employment history on their application and consider job history when determining eligibility for a loan. All income must be documented. If an applicant or household member is receiving child support or alimony, they must include a copy of the court order for those payments within the application. If an applicant or household member is receiving SSI, disability, TANF, or Social Security, they must provide a copy of a current monthly statement within their application paperwork. Income must also be somewhat predictable and lasting. Temporary income, or income that will not continue past 3 years' time, is not considered. Habitat checks credit of applicants and does background checks on all adult household members. A criminal history does not automatically disqualify an applicant. Any issues that come up in a background check will be dealt with on an individual basis. Habitat will verify employment, check credit, and make an assessment as to whether Habitat is an appropriate program for the applicant. Habitat does not have a minimum credit score requirement, but credit history and debt will be assessed. Applicants cannot have filed bankruptcy in the last 3 years. Our maximum dollar amounts in collections and judgments in a credit report is the total of all delinquent accounts. Habitat occasionally makes exceptions to these guidelines and encourages people to apply to the program. We deal with exceptions to our qualifications on an individual basis. However, we usually have to follow our set guidelines. As mentioned previously, partnership in our homeownership program is key. We have a willingness to partner requirement in this program. Pre-approved partners are required to complete 300 to 500 hours of sweat equity, while their house is being built or remodeled. Sweat equity is the volunteer time participants invest in earning the right to purchase their Habitat house with a 0% interest, 0% APR mortgage. Following approval by the selection committee, the applicant must complete 500 hours of sweat equity if they are purchasing a new house, or 300 hours of sweat equity if they are purchasing a remodeled Habitat house. All sweat equity hours must be completed before pre-approved partners are able to purchase their house. Sweat equity hours are done in a variety of different ways. Most of the hours are done on the construction site where houses are being built or remodeled and at one of our Habitat restores. The restores are warehouses that sell used and new building materials, furniture, and home improvement goods. All of the profits of the restore sales go to Habitat. If a partner has a disability and is unable to work on the construction site, we will find tasks they can do to complete their hours. We are happy to accommodate our partner families and their needs. People with language barriers are encouraged to find and use interpreters, and on occasion, Habitat can provide translation assistance. As part of the homeownership program requirements, pre-approved partners are expected to participate in Habitat's HomeWorks education program. Partners are required to attend a series of classes and workshops which range in subjects. Many classes and workshops are mandatory, and most are held in the evenings or on Saturdays. Generally, partners can expect to attend 1 to 2 classes per month, but occasionally a series of courses is required with 4 classes in 1 month. All class time is included towards the sweat equity hour goals. Please be aware that childcare and transportation are the partner's responsibility for all sweat equity hours and locations. Now that we have discussed our program qualifications and requirements, we will briefly discuss the application processing flowchart. The application process begins with the homeownership application meetings and an open application round. An application meeting is an informative meeting very similar to this presentation. The application meetings are the best place to pick up an application, but you can also get them at the Habitat for Humanity Portland Metro East office. During the weeks following a set of application meetings, Habitat holds an open application round. An open application round is the period of time that Habitat will accept completed applications. They usually only last 3 to 4 weeks. Interested individuals must submit a completed application and paperwork during the open application round. Generally, we hold 1 or 2 application workshops during our open application rounds. Application workshops allow applicants to meet one-on-one with Habitat staff or volunteers to get their questions answered and check their application for completeness. They are held for the benefit of applicants and are a great place to turn in an application. The application deadline is when the application round closes. Once the application round is closed, Habitat will not accept any more new applications until the next set of application meetings and open application round, which will generally be held 6 to 12 months later. Completed applications are reviewed for basic eligibility. We will ask homeowner applicants to submit financial documentation with their application. After completing a financial review, where we check income and credit requirements, qualified applicants will be contacted to arrange a home visit and interview, which will be conducted by Family Selection Committee members. Those members then present the application file to the whole Family Selection Committee, which pre-approves applicants that best fit the Habitat homeownership program. The application process generally takes 3 months from the homeownership application meetings to the committee decision. The homeownership program application is quite involved. When people apply to the program, they are applying for a mortgage. All applications must be turned in before the end of the application round. Applications include a checklist of all the paperwork that Habitat needs in order to process the application. Our application tips are: first, start early. The application requires people to get forms filled out and signed by their employer and landlord. The paperwork required for a complete application includes copies of tax forms, birth certificates, residency cards, state identification, and more. If a person does not have a form required, a note of explanation helps us understand the individual's circumstance. For example, if a utility letter of credit cannot be provided because the applicant's utilities are a part of their household rent, their application will not be considered incomplete as long as we understand why the letter of credit was not included. The next tip is attend a workshop. The application workshop is not required but recommended. We always recommend that you turn in your application in person if possible, so that we can make sure that it is complete and help you understand what is missing if it is not complete. Fill out the entire application form and only include what is needed in the application. For example, we don't need all the tax worksheets. We only need the front and back of the 1040 form. Habitat will not copy original documents at our office. Applicants are required to make their own copies. The last tip is use the checklist to check the application paperwork for completeness. We are unable to process incomplete applications, so it is very important for applicants to include all necessary documents. Please know that Habitat always has more qualified applicants than we can serve. Some applicants apply 2 or 3 times before they are pre-approved into the program, and some never get in. There is no limit to the number of times a person can apply to the program. We want to work with as many people as possible, but have limited capacity and resources. The Family Selection Committee must look at many factors when determining if an applicant should be pre-approved or denied for the homeownership program. Some of those factors include the applicant's need for decent housing, their ability to pay a mortgage, willingness to partner, the house size availability being offered during the application round, and the specific applicant needs, including disability needs. The committee has to not only decide whether the applicants are qualified, but also whether Habitat can meet the needs of the applicant. Factors that are not considered in the selection process are familial status, age, race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origins. So, to wrap up this presentation, now that we have reviewed the Habitat basics, the homeownership program, and details of homeownership through Habitat, along with the application process, the next step is for interested people to apply during an open application round. As mentioned, applications are handed out at our homeownership application meetings, which are always held directly before an open application round. Applications are also available at our Habitat office, or we can mail an application to you. If you have questions, please feel free to browse our website or contact us. Habitat's office hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If Habitat is not currently accepting applications, You can also fill out an interest form, which will put you on a mailing list specifically to receive an announcement when we will have homeownership application meetings and when an open application round is scheduled. Thank you very much for your time.